You don't have to walk all that way with me.
Hello, hope everyone's here. Now, I haven't been working on a video in a while because I've been quite busy lately. And yeah, also due to lack of supply. But currently I'm working on 2 video projects, the first of which is another running session. Still doing some filming and editing on it, so I figure it might be done by about the end of the month, if all goes as well. Secondly, I'm making a bit of a workshop video or an update video on 2 projects that I'm currently working on. One is the micro layout, which I think you've all probably seen before. The other is on this incoming train. That's a fine way to stop it. Dang thing derails. Get that out of the way. Now, these carriages have all been seen before on my layout. But in recent visuality of the newly released J70, done by Rapido Models, or Rapido Trains I believe they're called, for model rail, it has brought my attention to get back to work building and finishing my own J70, which is a Silver Fox kit. And I know that the lights in the background's a pain in the backside. It's messing up with my autofocus, it's not doing me any favors. So I'm just going to do a quick fix. There we go. But yeah, the main issue I've been having, apart from having to try and fit this mechanism in this shell, is the fact I'm trying to get this mech to run right. So just do a quick show here. I'll just move the body and weight. That's nearly half speed there. Quite jittery like that, so I think it might be the wheels that need cleaning really, because yeah, if we just hook up some clips here straight to the power and just hook them up to the frame side here of the loco, you know, just simple quick work, pretty much cutting all the dirt, the wheels and that, and just going straight towards the end of the motor. I add a bit of the juice, and look at that, smooth and slow. Or shall I give a better look? Just bring the camera to here. Hold the darn thing up and slowly add power. Now I'm not going to be silly enough to touch it because that would give me a zap. But yeah, that is about just around about a quarter power, so that's pretty good. Taking it up to half speed. That's about as fast as I ever want to run it. This is full power. It runs beautifully, both directions. Trouble is getting it to run nice and smooth without fear of heating up the motor. Because while trying to test it the other night, the motor here got a bit warm. And that's troubling. I got a box of bits and pieces for it. This is one of the pieces I got from, as you can see, Northyard Models. Now, they're a very good modelling company here in New Zealand. Of course, they're from the other side of the South Island, but they do very great work. And I gotta try and figure out how to fit this little brass flywheel onto this to try and balance it all out. Because I don't know whether I can fit it on here, here, or if I should try and fit it on here. I may have to ask a couple of modelling colleagues of mine. But yeah, I have several bits and pieces in here, including one or two bits I threw in myself. But naturally, weighing down the darn thing so it actually has traction is going to be important, which is why I have this nice big hunk of lead here that I liberated from an old Bachmann pannier tank. And if anyone will remember, it's that same pannier tank that I showed as an example when I did that narrow gauge repair work. Yeah. I also have these two weights here, which are slightly shimmed down a bit from the original size. These originally came from a Hornby track cleaning car, and which is now gone after I did repainting on it and such. Sold it at a model show. I think it went pretty well. But yeah, another thing I've been working on, apart from the J70, is my tramway carriages. Now, I want to be able to run them on my micro layout as well, which is why I only have one coupler with a hook on it. The carriages, I wish I could say the same, but as an experiment, tension lock coupler on this side, KD over there. Well, not exactly a KD, more of a knuckle coupler, but still. It works. And sort of vice versa on this one. Now, the reason I did it like this is I don't want to get any buffer lock or anything like that. And I can easily work the tension of the couplers just by working with the nuts at the end of each of these. There's one there, and two there, actually. Don't know why I only got the one having one, but it's quite a big nut. And no jokes, please, people. Let's keep it civil. The trouble is, when these decouple, it can be right tough to get them right again, but when they do couple, you get a fair bit of gap between the carriages. But when it comes to around the tight curves of the micro, I get a fair bit of bend and give in them, which is what I want. Instead of, well, flip these around, something like this, which I admit is a bit more prototypical, but it does very much come close to knocking around each other. But yeah, if I can find a better setup, I'll gladly switch to it. Another thing that I gotta do with this carriage here, is switch out the wheels. Because I think, as you saw on the point there, they derail. And I don't like that. So I think the idea here is I put a bit of a notch in this side of the lid. Found a way to link it up to this end of the mechanism. Trim this to size so that way it fits pretty... It actually already fits pretty snug in the body if you fit it in like that. And what I find neat is the molded rib on the inside of the resin mold here acts as a brilliant stopper for it. And that's got me thinking. If I can do it like that, then add these on the inside. Like so. Like so. Which gives a nice clean look. If I do it right, I'll be able to fix this thing up, no sweat, but I just lack the experience, really. I got the theory of it, I just don't have the know-how. I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to cut this lead. I mean, there's already a couple of scrape marks on it already. But it's all about getting it down to size. That's the key. And even if I was able to fix the lead weight onto this, like something like that, or that, it just has to clear the wheels enough to work. And I think a bit of paper masking tape or something like that along here, so that way I don't get a short. It's a bit of a dilemma trying to figure this thing out, really. It's a real bother. It is a dilemma trying to figure it out. Because, again, I lack the skills. And two, even though this actually might work, around here, the clearances just get really tight, if you can see. Whereas if I flip it like that, I could have a bit of overhang on here for the lead. And there actually might be enough room to fit the flywheel if, yeah, if that works, yeah. But I don't know. I honestly do not know. Because what I'm using on these carriages is these. Now, I don't know what size screw or bolt or whatever the heck these are. I don't know their size. But I know that they're quite tricky to get hold of. Even more of a pain in the backside to cut. It's a size. So I ain't going to use them for my couplers. Now I'm going to use something like NEM pockets. But yeah, should be okay. And the thing about the video that I'm doing at the moment is it's just a bit of a thing showing that I'm still here, even though I now gone baby-faced. Still currently working on the layout, as I'm planning on doing an extension of the layout, which is going to turn it from a single track circuit to a double track circuit. Gonna be a fair bit of track, timber, and wire work in that. Ooh, probably. And also, a while back, I tried making coal loads for 3 locomotives I have. They of which are, of course, the Ivet Class 2, the LMS Crab, and my Bachmann A1, which already has a real coal load in its tender, as we see here. But I wanted it to be, instead of about half done like that is, I wanted it to be a fully loaded coal tender. Well, near full. But the trouble is, when I tried making sort of a load to go in here, I forgot 2 things. One, the base I was using was rubbish. And secondly, on the tender, it kind of folds in a bit. As you see what I'm doing with this round, I'm just putting weight on it. Nothing. That lip is holding it in. So if I fitted a coal load in there, it's in there for good. It's in there for good. And with the crab, its tender has a coal rail going along the middle of it, which makes it pretty hard to work with. And as for the Ivet, well, when you get near the end of the tender there, it kind of slots a bit, which is not really helpful at all when building a coal load. I've never worked with a base that narrow before. I mean, it's about as narrow as the end of this as this marker pen here. It's about that narrow. That is stupidly small. I've tried using cardboard, even tissue paper as a base. No. Nope. 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 I would have tried wood, but this is a load from my one of my wagon loads. This is a wood one, and as you can see, that looks pretty good. But I mean, look at that. That is pretty bowed out. These card ones are made for coal wagons. They don't look half bad. I know that lights up paint up backs. I know. There we go. These card ones don't look half bad. The card's not deteriorated because of the soaking of PVA. What a glue mix. They're actually quite hard now. And I like them. And even on already loaded kit wagons, like these 3 that I have here. This one, it was full to the brim with a ballast load. I mean, literally full up. It's that heavy. I'm not kidding. It has got to be the heaviest piece of rolling stock I have. But I think I did a decent enough cover job with the coal. All I did was give it a sprinkling, really. Same could be said for this coal load here, which I'll just take out if I can. There we go. Now this is I think a Coppercraft kit wagon. Very nice. And you can see the 2 different layers of coal in there. Now the original load wasn't half bad. It just looked a bit rubbish, if I'm honest. So I just get a light sprinkling of my fine grade stuff, and boom, it looks alright. This one, on the other hand, I had to make base from scratch. And though it's quite a large wagon, quite a long wagon, you'd think it would take at least 2 days, 3 days for a load to be made for this. Wrong. About 1 day and a half, about a day and a half really, because there's your load. The reason it's like this is, yeah, it's got a pair of wires going through here. I think structurally for the wagon. But yeah, it ain't half bad. And it's easy to shut up again. Just do that. No one's the wiser. Because with these kit wagons, I know that some of them, the weight's better. But you don't always want to have a heavy wagon near the end of your train. It's just wrong in my book. It's just wrong. I mean, look at that. Now, I've actually been trying to experiment with adding pictures to my videos. And hopefully what shows up next will be footage, well, pictures, as it were, of progress of my J70, which is here in the box. Now, before I start showing the pictures, I might as well show them now. These trams were originally Great Eastern Railway product to take over from the Y6 trams. But everyone today knows them as Toby, as that's what he's based on. A J70, not a Y6, before I get any comments about locomotive classes. But the one thing I'm really having trouble with this model in general is just fitting that stinking mechanism in it. I mean, massive respect to North Yard for doing the mechanism for me. I am grateful for that, but trying to help me figure out how to fit it in would be a lot nicer. Ah well. Beggars can't be choosers. Righto, this is up onwards saying good day to you all.